Right, okay, let's start with where on earth are we? We're in the Wheat Sheaf.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful pub. It's clearly been styled, but I don't think we should hold that against it.
I mean, there's a lot of footwear on the wall.
Yep. Yeah, but very considerately they've put them into pairs.
They have.
So you don't worry about where the other one is. You don't have to worry about where the other one is.
How do you feel about shoes that aren't generally paired up?
Well,
Does it worry you?
I think if they were in here, if there was an artfully placed shoe on the wall, I would start looking for where the other one was.
Right, like some sort of horrible game of Where's Wally?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Shoe-based game of Where's Wally.
Exactly.
Good.
It's very much like one of those point-and-click games or something like that. Where's the other shoe? Like, generally speaking, I was going to say generally speaking, I don't really care, and I was like, no.
You do, it sounds like you do.
I do.
I mean, anyone that starts a sentence with, generally speaking, I don't really care about this subject, is usually really deeply affected by the subject matter.
No, like, well, yeah. No, the shoes that are currently sort of being worn outside my wardrobe are definitely, they're all in pairs.
They're paired up?
They're paired up.
Is that
they're
the way it
fairly
works?
sort of neatly aligned.
You've got a system.
I do. I've got so many systems. It's a wonder I function.
Amazing. Brilliant. So this is an endangered pub.
I know, I signed a petition.
I signed a petition as well.
You signed a petition, although you've never been here.
Yeah, because it's important.
No, but I agree.
I've driven past it many times, and just because I haven't been and frequented the Wheat Sheaf in Tooting the Beck, doesn't mean that, I mean, why would I want this to be a Tesco Metro?
No, God no. No, it's lovely.
We'd be in the stockroom
really
right
nice,
now. This wouldn't be right. There'd be no shoes.
It's a really lovely pub. The people are generally quite nice. Every time I've been in, this is very nice wine.
Good.
And the roasts are incredible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really, really good roasts.
Well, that's an interesting one. Because comedy, food, girl.
Those three
Breaking
things.
those things down into their constituent parts. What came first, comedy or food? Probably food. Probably from day zero.
Although I say that.
Of the big passions.
Of the
I
big
mean, we're not
passions.
talking about you existing, because it's always food.
Yeah,
Food
sure.
always wins.
Sure. I think, I don't know, my interest in food started when my dear mother would not mind me saying this, in that I learnt to cook to survive.
Right.
Her cooking was very experimental and it was very well-meaning, but it didn't necessarily always live up to what she thought it would.
How experimental?
Well, like she would try a new recipe and would go, I'll change bits, and then it wouldn't work because she'd changed bits rather than following a new recipe.
Right.
So I have gone completely the other way, and I am a slave to a recipe.
A recipe slave.
Yeah. But I love it. It pleases me a great deal.
What is it about that process? Is it just the science behind it? So
Yeah, I
this
think
is
so.
precise detail.
Yeah.
This
So
is
like
measurement.
Yeah. So also the first time I make it, I like to use the recipe, and then the next time I'm very happy to then experiment. But the first time you use a recipe, you might as well use the recipe, otherwise you
What's
could
the point
have just
of having a recipe?
Exactly. You
You're
could
just
have
lobbing
winged it
things
from
in
the
place,
start.
otherwise.
Exactly. You could have just winged it from the start. So I started cooking when I was, 14 or something like that.
Survival,
like a lot, sort of cooking a few times a week. And then I got my first cookbook, which was Nigel Slater's Real Food, which I still have and I love very much, when I was 17. Actually, no, my first ever cookbook was a Winnie the Pooh cookbook. That was a primary school purchase.
That's awesome. I had the Roald Dahl's Revolves and Recipes.
Oh, cool.
Was my first cookbook.
Oh, were they edible or was it all like a?
No, it's all edible.
amazing.
Look, you could make the edible pillows. From Charlie and Jolly
Fantastic.
Factory and things like
That's
that, or they
really
had
awesome.
something from the Twits and things like that. It was
That's
just
very
like
cool.
because I grew up on Roald Dahl, not on him. That would be
Sure.
weird. Here I am, Roald. You crack on, mate. And chances are you're gonna die shortly. That's tragic, but true. But yeah, that was my first.
Oh,
first
that's
ever.
nice. I didn't even know there was one. That's quite good.
I lost touch with it. I say I lost touch with it.
It
as you
never
do.
called back.
It just didn't. It refused to pick up
It
the
drifted
phone.
apart.
I tried email. I sent a pigeon, but no. It refused. So I have recently repurchased it. I got it on eBay.
Oh,
I got it back,
cool.
and it cost me 1p.
Have you made anything from it yet?
I have not.
You need to.
I have plans for again, I think there's a Twits spaghetti. That looks quite interesting.
Cool.
But
Start small with spaghetti. That's pretty, you
okay.
know where you are with spaghetti already.
You should.
So
theoretically.
But to just finish the answer to the question.
Yeah, don't mind me interrupting.
So no, I was just going to say. So the interest in food goes quite far back. So yeah, the Winnie the Pooh cookbook, and when I learned, we were given cookery lessons in the last year at primary school. And I asked my teacher at the end for all the recipes so I could, and I found them the other day, which was lovely.
Oh wow!
I say the other day, it was like last year, but you always say the other day.
It was fine.
But weirdly, I was thinking about this, popped into my head in the shower.
Okay, normal.
No, I do a lot of good
You do a
thinking
lot of
in
short
the shower.
burst shower thinking.
Yeah, I do.
Good.
And it popped into my head that my mum told me a little while ago when I told my first ever joke. So it was.
The table's yours. Let's hear it.
It was when my parents were still together, so I must have been less than 4.
Okay.
And old enough to talk. So I must have been somewhere between 2 and 4. So I'm going to plump for 3.
That is that's the average.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll go in there.
So I was in the back seat of the car. We're driving along, playing I Spy. And I say, I spy something beginning with W. And then it gets like window, window pane, windscreen wiper, all the things beginning with W. And I'm like, no. And they're eventually starting to go like, what else begins with W that she could possibly know? So they go on for a little while and then they give up. And I say, wabbit. And then crease up laughing. So yeah, little 3-year-old me thought 3-year-old me was hilarious.
Yes, well, you clearly.
So yeah. So although what I thought in the shower the other day was, I think I may have stolen that from Elmer Fudd. So my first joke may have been plagiarised, which is a bit of a shame.
It is.
But you steal from the best.
And that really brings the tone of the shower down.
Thinking about Elmer Fudd.
No, just realising that you stole a gag.
Yeah, but you know,
It's a happy thought to start with.
You steal from the best, don't you?
You do.
Make it your own.
You should.
So
you should always
I just started early.
develop an idea. Why not?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Are there other general thoughts you tend to have whilst showering? This is a weird question, but an apt one. Do you utilise a shower for thought processes?
I do, definitely.
Right, it's a go-to place.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that's one of the few places that you just go into autopilot, don't you?
Yes.
There's no real thought about the washing process because you know
you've got a
that
system.
Yeah.
You stick to it.
Kind of,
Everyone's happy.
You reach a certain age and you've basically got that nailed. There's not a lot of variation. So yeah, I do a lot of thinking in the shower.
Cracking.
Yeah. So like thoughts pop into my head about shows or I had an amazing thing a couple of months ago where I was having a friend around for dinner and I just had a feeling like she's going to tell me she's pregnant tonight. And she did.
That was a
nice.
shower thought.
That was a shower premonition.
Wow. You've got shower power.
Oh, well done. Oh, that's very good.
That is spectacular.
Yeah.
You should capitalise on this. There's a lot of cheap lady magazines out there that would be looking for a medium that solely exists in the shower format. I think there's a gap in the market for your work. There is.
Oh my god.
There clearly must be.
Yeah, shower power. That'll have to be the name of it, though, won't it?
Does that mean you're going to have to get a waterproof whiteboard so you can start? Because I mean, if I have an idea, it has to go in the book.
Oh really?
So I've got books scattered around. One, because I don't really have an organisational system, but 2, because if it goes in, it either goes on the phone or it's gone, or it goes in the book and it's gone.
Yeah,
so,
I do like those sort of things where you have a really good dream and you're like, I'll remember.
Never.
I'll remember that amazing creative idea I had. No.
Last night I dreamt that someone threw a shoe at my head.
Oh.
And it really hurt.
Oh. That's
Fact,
sad.
dream fact. There it is.
Not last night, but the night before, dreamt I died in a fire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Massive one or just a tiny domestic one?
No, a house fire.
Domestic.
Yeah, domestic.
Textbook domestic fire.
Yeah, it started with oregano. Dried oregano.
That is a dangerous sport.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an extreme sport. I've seen that.
Yeah. So kids, don't overherb. Don't overherb your food.
If there's a message that you want to put out to the audience at an early point, it is we're not dicking around with oregano. It's dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's a hazard.
Let's not mess around with your herbs.
Yeah.
Good. Favourite herb?
Rosemary.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Interesting.
This is very versatile, pleasing to look at, and quite easy to maintain as a plant.
So maintaining your herbs is key.
Yeah, some of them are bastards.
Ooh.
Coriander,
Shitty herb.
such a diva.
Really?
Coriander's a nightmare.
Is it?
It just thinks it's a vat. It's just like, I'm just going to fall over. You're like, oh, you probably need some water. I'll give you some water. Nope, not getting up.
So
Just gonna carry on lying down.
are you a grower as well as a eater?
Yeah.
You're a
I tried
hunter,
to be.
gatherer, forager.
I tried to be.
You're good.
I grew. What did I was quite adventurous. Well, not adventurous, but I branched out into new avenues of planting this year. So
Really?
I tried.
So
What did I grow from seed? I grew thyme,
did I see something on your Twitter about a marrow?
courgette.
Courgette, that'll
Oh my
do.
god! The courgette plants went.
By the way, I'm not a stalker.
It's quite all right. No,
I was
it's
just
fine.
doing research.
It's research. It's fine.
It's
It's
perfect.
lovely.
It's research.
I'm also delighted that someone even looks at my Twitter feed. No, it was courgette plants.
Courgette. So that was new for the year?
That was new for the year.
Good.
The seeds came inside an Easter egg, which is pretty awesome.
Expected or just a surprise?
No, total surprise.
Wow.
Total surprise.
Like a really good version of a Kinder Egg.
Yeah.
Like with
So
something
it's like-
genuinely useful inside
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So I planted a few and gave one to my mum.
Wow.
I had two really good ones. So I think next year they did really well. I think the only thing is I will plant them a bit earlier because obviously I planted them after Easter.
Of course.
So they didn't fruit until quite late on. So I think if I plant them earlier, I should get a slightly more bumper harvest.
So another top tip.
Another top tip.
Pop 'em in early.
Plant your courgette seeds early.
There we go.
Yeah.
Prior to Easter. Other religious
Yeah.
holidays are available, but always plant your courgette at the point between Christmas and Easter.
Yeah.
Really. Let's go with the
Yeah.
general New Year
Yeah.
period.
No, somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
Probably
Let's
like
go February. Yeah, mid-Feb.
February,
National Chip and Pin Day, 14th February.
Perfect.
Probably do that there.
Perfect. Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
don't know why that sat in my mind, but I've been affected by National Chip and Pin Day.
Have you?
Just got to
Really?
say, I remember it. It's like it was yesterday. It wasn't.
That reminds me of the Mitchell and Webb sketch. There's chip and pin. Oh no, there's pin and cushion and fish and chip.
Yeah.
And then chip and pin go, hey guys, we're gonna leave you fish and cushion because we think chip and pin's gonna really take off and we think we're gonna be a better double act.
Wow.
Chip and pin fails and fish and cushion goes like stratospheric.
So now in the game would be contactless.
Contactless, yeah. Card and clash.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really angry about the announcements. Card clash, be aware. Like, I don't use the underground a lot. I use the underground for about 80 seconds a day.
Yeah.
Twice a day. Let's call it 160 seconds. More maths available later. But they're really hot on the card clash at the moment. There's a lot of, whatever you do, guys,
Yeah.
don't put your oyster and your bank card together, guys. This is bad news.
I think they're probably just preempting people getting cross. Because people get cross very easily.
In life.
Yeah.
Let
And
alone on the
particularly when it
underground.
involves transport and money. More so with money, I think.
Do you believe in contactless payment
Do I
technology?
believe in it? Well, the question is, does it believe in me? I don't know if it does yet. Yes, I believe it exists. And if I had a contactless card, I would use it.
You are weeks behind the game. Literally weeks behind.
This is not my fault my bank hasn't given me one.
Destroy your card. And send a new one. Top tip.
Don't just wait for expiry date.
Never
Be
ex-
proactive.
Get on the phone. Say, excuse me, guys. Right. I was like, don't know why the accent's there, but we'll carry on anyway. It's just, send me a new card, yeah.
Yeah.
I want that contactless
Okay.
technology
Oh, should I
for
maybe
anything less than
I will.
£20 in a transaction.
Yes, so many tips.
There are-
So many tips
I
already.
think
We should
there's-
keep a tally.
A tip tally.
Tip tally.
Right.
Oh, God.
Fantastic. So from food to comedy. Natural segue.
Yeah.
Three,
3.
back in a car,
Yeah.
classic start.
Yeah.
Where did it go from there?
From thence, it went to sort of dicking around at school, I think. not that I was the class clown. I certainly wasn't on purpose.
Accidental clowning.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, primary school, there's not a lot of. I don't know if there's a lot of outlet for comedy necessarily. Although I did a lot of. Yeah, I mean, I did the school play every year. That was quite fun.
I was narrator.
I was a narrator. What did you narrate?
Narrator.
Yeah.
Narrator pound.
Narrator fist bump.
There it is. For the audio podcast, that was a fist bump. To respect the narrators. Nativity, they got me in every year.
Yeah.
Textbook nativity narrator.
Nice.
Yeah.
I narrated a nativity, and I
Good.
narrated Thumbelina, I think it was. I think it was Thumbelina. Yeah.
That's not a curriculum sort of classic.
Oh, well, we were pretty out there.
Yeah, you were pushing the boundaries.
Little, tiny, middle class, entirely white village school.
Where
We're
was
just
it?
breaking those boundaries.
You really were.
Yeah.
Guys, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, Thumbelina, guys.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, I get in secondary school. I did get a lot of, because I would just say whatever came into my head, really. Not necessarily thinking it was funny, but just thinking it was like, oh, that's a different way of looking at whatever it is that we're talking about. And I quite often got the response of, oh, don't worry, Jinny, men in white coats are coming soon. That seemed to be like the stock response
go-to place.
for my thing. And it was really interesting, actually, because it was about a year or so ago, and I was chatting to, I can't remember who it was now, but I was chatting to somebody, a friend of mine from the Improv world, and they were like, my friend said exactly the same thing. And I think that's the joyous thing about improv, is it seems to have brought all us kind of like misfits together. And I do literally mean like not misfit in a cool way, I do mean misfit
Proper
as in
outcast
people who
misfit.
did not fit.
The actual definition
The actual
of misfit.
definition of misfit. So at school I didn't go out of my way to make people laugh, but I think sometimes I wondered why they didn't, because I thought it was hilarious. And I did, and that's also, and again, my mum and I were talking about this the other day, but I did watch a lot of Whose Line Is It Anyway on Channel 4, I think
It was, indeed.
we used to watch loads of that, and which means I'm so excited. I'm doing Mike McShane's improv course.
Really?
Starting in a couple of weeks. I'm so excited.
I think
It's
it'd be
just
incredible.
like, it's just, oh god.
I mean, he wasn't there at Edinburgh when I was. Did he do any of the shows?
I think so.
He did. He wasn't on the one I went to, but I had to go and see it because it was just
How could you not? How could you not?
literally amazing. But yeah, I mean, so that's another segue to the improv thing.
Yeah.
So what was the first point you kind of went? I like the concept of just generally going with the flow, improvising, and take it from there.
Do you mean like when
did the
I
improv
start
bug
doing
really
improv?
hit you? Yeah.
Okay, so I moved to London 6 years ago, and I moved in with my very, very dear friend Clara, and she suggested that so that we've been friends for years, really, one of my best friends, and she suggested that so that we didn't just become flatmates,
Right.
that we have one day a week that was basically date night.
Right.
So we scheduled every week. We would have a day in the diary where we would make dinner for each other and just hang out and make sure that we stayed friends rather than just descending
good
into
system.
kind of like who takes the bins out and that kind of stuff.
You don't want that.
No, it's not good. So after a few months of
Dating.
lots of dating and dinners, we were like, oh, we might go outside. So then we went to the cinema for like a month, and then I think it was because we would take it in turns to cook and take it in turns to decide what we were going to do. And I think it was my turn to decide, and it was the day, it was a Tuesday, and I hadn't decided what we were supposed to be doing yet, so I just basically went on Time Out website, there are other listing sites available,
Good.
and went to just like Comedy London Tonight, and the word hoopla
Yep.
just popped out at me as being a fun word, and they said it was improvised comedy, like you saw on Whose Lines. Anyway, and I was like, I used to love that show. Oh, cool, let's go and see this. It was only £5 or something. So we went along to that, and we just laughed and laughed and laughed, and just like Clara at some points I barely couldn't breathe. It was just so funny. And I just kind of got a bit addicted to how good it was. And I think I went 4 times in 5 weeks.
Okay.
And I think on that first night, just sort of had a chat to the guys in the pub afterwards. And they were like, we do workshops as well. And so it basically took me a month to kind of pluck up the courage and go, that looks a really fun thing to do. And then I went along. And it was just, and I just sort of walked in the room, and one of the guys who I'd seen on stage just kind of came towards me with open arms, going, "Jinny, you came!" And I'm like, "Oh, I think I've come home. I think this is going to be good." And I just had such a good time, and I just, I went pretty much every week. It just became part of my week, and it just sort of all started from there, and it all started from just purely seeing a good word.
Good.
A good word.
Good words.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular favourite words?
Cream.
Cream.
Is a good one.
Cream. Right, good. That's an excellent word. Top word.
Oh gosh. I quite like blanket for what it means.
Blanket.
Blanket's nice.
Nice.
Blanket's nice because it's very instantly evocative. I think. Okay. You either think of blanket of snow or a blanket snuggling you. It's a very evocative word.
Makes me think of Les Dawson. That's cool. That's just blankety blank.
Right, yeah. There are probably others.
There are definitely other words out there.
There are definitely other words are available.
They are. Palaver.
Oh, that's nice.
Classic word.
That's good.
That's a classic word. And puddle.
Puddle's lovely.
I'm a huge puddle fan.
Puddle's lovely, as is pudding.
All the bees.
Oh, pudding's
Pudding.
a good one. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So, for those that aren't accustomed to the world of improvisation, what would you say are the key fundamentals to improv?
Well, I teach improv every now and again.
So if you're thinking this is week 1, lesson 1, hour 1.
Yep, I have my absolute thing, which is I say everybody who teaches you improv will say that there are no rules to improv, and then proceed to give you a whole load of rules. They'll give you 3 main ones, but in my opinion, the absolute cardinal rule of improv, under which everything falls, it's the brilliant
it's a blanket rule.
It's a blanket rule. It's quite simply, don't be a dick.
It's the number 1 rule of life.
It's the number 1 rule of life, which is why it's the number 1 rule of improv.
Good.
So
Good
don't
parallels.
be a dick in life. Don't be a dick in improv.
Just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick in improv. Don't be a dick in life. It works both ways.
It really does.
So yeah, no, don't be a dick is basically the absolute number 1, because if you're just doing that, everything else is fine. It's all really easy if you're not being a dick. It just all falls into
life
place.
advice, it is.
It all falls into place. But I would say, aside from that, maybe the more kind of
So our foundation is don't be a dick. Let's build the house of improv.
And then I would say the walls are. It's going to probably be a wigwam, but I've forgotten them. That's hilarious.
Good improv.
That's so much I
Just
do.
make it up.
That's so much I do.
Just make anything up. Good work.
Well, there's yes and. So that's the idea that you say yes to someone and then you build on what they've given you. So you're agreeing with them and then adding.
Yes.
So if you just go like yes all the way through a scene, that's lovely, but it doesn't really do much. But if you go yes and that's amazing because blah blah blah, then the other person has something to go, great, okay, you've given me something to play with as well. So it's kind of like, it's a bit more like a game of tennis or something, rather than just someone serving at you all the time.
The lonely man with the machine of doom.
Exactly.
I hate my life.
Listening is very important.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to just get in your own head, worry about what it is you're going to say next, and then you don't listen to what the other person is saying, and therefore it's then very difficult to come out with something that fits, or that is in any way a neat follow-on.
Right.
But also it's really important to listen to yourself, to actually pay attention to whatever it is that you're coming out with, so you're not just dumping a whole load of nonsense onto the other person that then they can't do anything else with either. Committing is the other big one, which is basically if you come up with an idea, go with it. Don't go, oh no, hang on, no, I've changed my mind. No, we're not in an igloo. No, it's a palace, no, it's a palace now. Because then the other person is going to go, what? I thought we were in an igloo. And the audience is going to go, what? Is it a shape-shifting igloo? And so it just makes everything a lot clearer. And again, it's a lot easier. It's all about making it as easy as possible. Because you're already setting yourself a ridiculous challenge. So you might as well make it easy on yourself. And also, a very good one, this is the last one, I promise, which Dylan Emery taught me, which was your only job is to make the other person look good.
Okay.
So if you're making the other person look good and they're making you look good, it's just going to be lovely.
Everyone's
just going to have a
great.
nice time.
Looking
just
good,
have a nice
feeling
time.
fine.
Exactly. So I would say
More
there
life
you go.
lessons.
Yeah.
You know.
Tip.
Top tip.
Top tip.
Top tip. I think that's 6. That's 6 we've got in there now.
At least.
I mean, when the process of editing works, that will make no sense saying that's the 6th tip, but it's probably the 9th or 4th. Could be either way. Who knows? So after going along for sort of that 5-week period or so, you got stuck in.
Yeah.
So what was the first kind of gigs like?
Oh, well, I didn't gig for about a year.
Okay. So you went through that, that thorough training,
Yeah, I learned
training
for
classes.
a long time. Yeah.
Cool. So how was that then as a process?
What, how I was learning?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
How did you find it?
It was amazing. It was playing. It was just completely stress-free. Hoopla was a lovely, lovely place to learn because it was very all-embracing, really encouraging, and just kind of very tactful as well. I think Steve Rowe is a very diplomatic teacher, and so just like, oh, that was really good. That was really good. Tell you what, just go again, and that kind of stuff, which I think is really a really nice way to teach people because it doesn't make them feel like they're idiots or that they're that they are doing something which is completely it's a completely ludicrous thing to be doing. So then the idea that you're doing it wrong is just like, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing Christmas wrong or something,
Sacrilege.
So it was just amazing. I made friends. I was going to say lifelong friends, but it's only been 6 years. But they've certainly been around for all that time, and
That's
I hope
good.
that they continue to be.
Good innings.
Made some of my absolutely best friends through it. And just like, I don't know, it just sort of it's made a real difference to how I view life, I think. And also, it wasn't very long after I started doing improv that I then quit my job and went freelance. Because I was just like, screw it. Life is way too short to keep battling at something, especially when everyone's being a dick. So might as well do something that you really enjoy. So I think it was that those first few months were kind of a joyful exploration of something completely new and exhilarating, and just that feeling of like relief and release to just at the end of a day just to be able to go into a room above a pub and just lark about with a lot of like-minded people. It's just
other outcasts too.
Yeah, other outcasts. We have to go somewhere.
And it's a dark room above a pub. It's pretty textbook.
It was amazing. It was really amazing.
Cool. So then, moving on to those sort of first performances.
Yeah.
How did that kind of, mentally preparing and going through the classes and so forth, but there's nothing like a live performance.
No, not at all.
You can prepare as much as you can or want, but the moment you put yourself in that spotlight, or you put yourself in front of an audience, 1 or 50 people, it doesn't matter. The dynamic changes completely. How did you? Was that? you performed previously? A little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'd done a lot of drama at school, and I'd done a bit at university. But then there was a fair old gap. Oh no, actually no. It's probably about a year and a half since I'd been on stage. But yeah, again, it's a totally different thing to go on with something scripted and to go on with nothing. I was sick to my stomach on the day, and indeed the week leading up to it, I was like, I'm going down with a cold. I'm pretty sure I'm going down with a cold. I just like could feel like tension in my throat, and it was just like tension headache, which I didn't think of was a tension headache at the time. I thought I was going down with a cold. I just felt dreadful. Just felt absolutely dreadful. Just absolutely terrified. Not really a case of what am I doing or why am I doing this, because I knew I didn't have an option. Like I was going to do it. There was no part of me that was going to chicken out. It was going to happen. I was completely terrified. But then that feeling of first going up and it just instantly melted away.
Good.
Like literally as soon as I stepped on stage, it went. And it was a really fun show. I did one of my favourite ever scenes in that very first show with my dear friend John Monkhouse, and we sang a song, and the host asked the audience for a suggestion of a relationship, and I didn't know who the person was, but it turned out to be my friend Chris's now wife, who shouted out anthropologist and subject. Ooh. Which was amazing. And then John was incredible by just turning, instead of even remotely dancing on the edge of racism, just went straight into being an Irish pub keeper. So then I was a kind of doctor who was coming to study. It was lovely. It was really lovely, and we had I can still remember the chorus. It was a really, again, exhilarating show of just coming off and going, oh my god, I totally just did that. Yeah, it was great. It was really amazing.
How's that kind of evolved to now then? Because you're right in the thick of it in respect to performance, being creative and a part of that process. How's that transition been to where you are now?
I think that first show was me challenging and pushing myself in that I'd never performed improv before. And I never want to get complacent about how that feels. I never want to be in a position where I go, I can do this. And I have been like that. I have been like that before a show, and it's been awful. I've just done the worst work ever. It's just been horrendous. And I realised that was what was happening, and it was realised because I was just being a bit too sort of blasé about it. Okay. So I was like, right, okay, I need to do something that challenges me, and that delights me as well. So I do that. So I try to perform with people who are better than me, because that makes me up my game. Yep. And it also, I just really enjoy it because I feel like I'm not doing any work, and I'm just sort of riding along on their coattails, going, oh yeah, you're great, and sort of sucking up all of their knowledge at the same time. I do improvathons now, which is an absolute joy to have begun being involved in that. I'm so grateful, because that's an insane thing to do to yourself. So I should probably explain. An improvathon is basically improv for a marathon amount of time.
Right.
So there's the Bristol one, which is 30 hours long. Wow. There's the Liverpool one, which is as many minutes as there are in the year. So this year was the 2014 minute improvathon. So it's about 33 hours.
That's basically a whole year of improv. That was where I was going with that. I was like, I'm going to take that quite literally as an entire year. That's as many minutes.
About 33 hours-ish. And then there's the London 50-hour improvathon as well. So those are all like, you have an episode of about an hour and 45 minutes, then you have a break for 15 minutes, and then you go again for another hour and 45, break for 15, and you just keep going, and you stay with the same character each time, and it's basically like a soap. So it usually has the same setting, and then it's all those people who live and exist and visit that setting. So that's an incredible thing to do. And I do my one-woman solo improv show as well, which came about by me. To be honest, it wasn't a conscious decision to push myself. It was just I was in a group called 8-Bit, and our coach, Katie Shute, basically in a warm-up session said, okay, I'll show you how to do budget scenes. And a budget scene is basically an improv scene with only one person. And I'd never done it before, and it was just so much fun. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was like I discovered another door in the improv corridor, and I found a whole new other set of corridor and doors.
A wing.
Yeah, another wing. Oh, I like that. So I started, and it was a few months before I thought, I want to give that a go. And so I approached Katie and Carrie Lloyd and Paul Foxcroft to be my directors, and basically made a show with them, and that's a show that really pushes me, because that's brought back all of those feelings that I had at the very beginning, just like being, especially when I did my first ones, which is just like, why am I doing this?
Well, I was going to say, you're in that traditional group format, you've got bodies around you, people to work off, bounce off ideas and so forth, but just you on stage, other people's ideas, and you run with it.
Yeah.
That's a completely different aspect.
Yeah, it's mental. I don't know why I do it. I don't know. It's really fun. That's why I do it. It's really fun. But it's a totally insane thing to do. But yeah, that pushes me. And again, it's the same thing where I can, if I have a show, I had a show like this the other week where I was just a bit, I don't know, I was a bit like, I'm not really in the mood for a show. I guess I'm going to do it. And the first half, or the first scene I did, I was just like, what am I doing? I am totally arsing this out. Oh God. Oh, thank God. Okay, hang on. I can stop it. That's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in charge right now.
I'm in charge and I can stop it. And then I sort of scrapped that and did a new scene, and that was much better. But it continually teaches me not to be complacent and keep working. That I can, and it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because I've been doing improv, for like 5 years, which I know is not very long, but at the same time, it is quite a while. And at no point do I think I'm ever going to go, I've got this.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I do that,
but
that's,
I think with an art form of any sort, that's where you should never take your eye off the ball. You should really consider what's next. Where else can I push this?
Absolutely.
How else can I develop? Who can I go and watch and develop and learn or borrow from and so forth? Because that is, that really should be what drives you. And the moment you go, I'm great, technically is the moment you probably slip right behind and it all starts going apart.
And I think I fully agree with you on the kind of developing and watching people as well, because I think, it's such, for me it's such a vital part of it to kind of keep working on it and, this is part of the reason I got 3 directors, is because I know they're all awesome, but I know they're all really busy. So I thought, well, if I have 3, then maybe I'll get to see one of them at some point. But I try to go back to them and go, can I have another rehearsal? And I know what I need drilling on. And watching loads is so useful. And I've tried to do that since I started doing improv. What's the point of doing something if you don't like what other people are doing with it as well? It's like almost saying, like, making films and going, but I only want to watch my ones, no one else's. So I do, I go and watch a lot as well.
So, who would be on your must-see individual list? Who's the go-to people? Where should we be looking? How do we hunt these guys down?
There's first of all, there's something I'm very excited about, because they started following me on Twitter yesterday. Breaking news, and it's a group called the Free Association. I've not seen them, but I can see who's involved, and I'm like, that's going to be one to watch, I reckon, because that's a very lush group of people who are in that.
Good use of that, lush. Carry on.
Thank you. I think, in a way, I almost feel like it's a really obvious answer, but it's a very valid one. Ostentatious are just spectacular. They're so good. I do lights for GTI, Grand Theft Impro.
Yes.
A fair bit. I love watching them. Who else? Who else is really good? Project 2.
Right.
I love them very much. I mean, I am slightly biased because it's got most of my best friends in it, but
They're great.
okay. I would also be very honest with them if it was. Well, I wouldn't bother recommending them if it wasn't ace, and it is. It's really fun. It's improvised sci-fi.
Okay, cool.
So that's really, really fun. This is going to be the awful thing. Folie à deux, which is Andy Murray and Charlotte Gittins from Ostentatious.
Okay.
They do a two-prov, which when I saw the first outing of it, I was sitting in the front row with my friend, and at one point I just had to have a little rest. I just had to stop looking at the stage and just briefly put my head on his shoulder, just to not look at it for a while, just a couple of seconds, just to go. I can't. I just need a little bit of time.
Quite extreme.
Because I was just laughing so hard and just, oh God! I remember seeing one of Ostentatious' very first shows, and I reckon one of their first 5. And I was sitting at the back, and I had to keep standing up and sitting down again because I didn't know what to do with myself. Because I was like, laughing is not enough. Laughing is not enough to get.
I can semaphore.
It's just I need to release this joy, and laughing is not enough. So I feel Folie à deux are awesome. Carrie and Paul, are a masterclass, really, to be honest. But not in a way that you want to go and take notes.
Right.
Because I think that's just go and really enjoy it.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Where can we find you? Other than at the Wheat Sheaf on a Monday night, talking to a random.
I'm not on Facebook, but I am on Twitter.
Right.
Which is @ComedyFoodGirl.
Yep.
And I'm also on Instagram @ComedyFoodGirl. Although there's probably more information on Twitter. I also have a show coming up on the 4th of November at Ostentatious Presents. I'm not part of Ostentatious, that was erroneously suggested at a gig I did the other day. But I'm doing a slot as part of their variety night.
Where is that?
That's at the Wheat Sheaf, but not this one. It's the Wheat Sheaf on Rathbone Place, so just off Tottenham Court Road.
I was going to say, back at Tottenham Court Road.
Yeah, and then I have another one on the 22nd of November, which is at the Nursery Theatre in Southwark, and that's a full hour.
Really?
I've got a full hour to myself.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
So how can we? What is it? Just go to the website or Nursery Theatre?
I don't think they've announced the lineup just yet, but if you've got, they've got Facebook and things. Yeah. So I think they're at Nursery Theatre on Twitter.
Fantastic. To wrap up, we've kind of had one life message, don't be a dick. So if you were going to impart another piece of life advice, what would it be?
Oh gosh, there are so many. I think... It's annoying that it's an advertising slogan.
Okay.
But I think I will say, just say yes.
Just say yes.
Say yes.
It works on all counts.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
Good. Wise words. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.